Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Welcome to the revision session of Geography chapter number 4, that is air. So, children, in this part 2 of the revision session of the 4th chapter, we are going to begin by weather and climate. So, children, what is weather? Weather is a combination of events that happen each day in our atmosphere, including the temperature, rainfall, and humidity. Weather is not the same everywhere, right? So, what is weather? It is a condition of the atmosphere at certain times and place, and weather also changes daily. Now let us understand what is climate. Climate refers to the average weather condition of a place for a long period of time, which means that climate is the overall weather pattern of an area. Climate changes over a long period of geologic time. Now that, children, we have understood what is weather and atmosphere, now let us understand or let us revise about atmospheric temperature. So, children, the temperature is the degree of hotness and coldness of the air. The temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between day and night but also from season to season. Summers are hotter than winters. Degree Celsius is the standard unit of measuring temperature. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. So, what is insolation? Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. Now look at this picture. It is a picture of thermometer. So, when is thermometer used? Thermometer is used to measure the temperature, right? Yes. Now this is the picture of temperature. Okay, and it measures Fahrenheit and Celsius scales. So, as we discussed, children, the standard unit of measuring temperature is degree Celsius. It was invented by Anders Celsius. On the Celsius scale, the water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Now let us move on to this topic, that is air pressure. Now, children, though this topic was explained in your explanation during explanation of the chapter in detail, I just wanted to give you some extra information, but that extra information you will be covering in the higher classes. So, need not worry about it. As of now, we will be focusing only on the things that are given in the chapter. So, let us begin. Air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the Earth's surface. As we go up the layers of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. The air pressure is highest at sea level and it decreases with the height. So which means that air pressure or air presses us from all directions and our body exerts counter pressure. The pressure that is exerted by the weight of air on the earth's surface. Now the pressure is exerted by the weight of air on the surface of the earth. So as we go up the layers of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. The pressure is highest at the sea level and it decreases with height. Horizontal distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature. As the temperature becomes high, air gets heated and rises. This creates low pressure areas and it is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. When the temperature is low, air is cold and heavy and thus it sinks. This creates high pressure areas and it is associated with clear and sunny skies. Always remember children, air always moves from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. Let us revise wind. What is wind? The movement of air from high pressure to low pressure areas is called wind. Now children, we see wind when it blows dry leaves down the pavement or when it uproots trees during a storm, isn't it? But sometimes wind blows very gently too. We can also see it blowing away smoke or fine dust, right? But at times wind can be very strong and it becomes difficult for us to walk against it. At times, especially during rainy season, we do experience that the wind is very extremely high and when we are walking on the pavement, we are not able to hold the umbrella properly, isn't it? Now, let us see the types of winds. Before that, a small reminder of the definition of wind. The movement of air from high pressure to low pressure is called wind. As I said, there are three types of winds, or wind can be broadly classified into three types. The first type is the permanent winds, or they are also known as the planetary winds. Now, what are permanent winds? The trade winds, westerlies and easterlies are the permanent winds. Now children, regarding westerlies, easterlies and all, the trade winds and all, you will be learning in the higher classes. As of now, let us just understand this much. Permanent winds are the trade winds, westerlies and the easterlies. These winds, that is the permanent winds, blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. Now we move on to the next type of wind, that is seasonal wind. Seasonal winds are also known as periodic winds. Seasonal winds change their direction in different seasons and hence the name seasonal. Examples of such winds are the monsoons in India. Local winds. Local winds blow only during a particular period of the day or year in a small area. Example, land breeze and sea breeze. Now let us understand what is moisture. When water evaporates from land or from different water bodies, it becomes vapor, right? Moisture in the air at any time is known as the humidity. So, moisture is the presence of liquid, that is especially water, and it often in trace of small amounts. Small amounts of water may be found, for example, in the air, that is humidity, in food and in other commercial products. So, moisture also refers to the amount of water vapor in the air. When the air is full of water vapor, it is called a humid day. As the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapor increases, and so it becomes more and more humid. On a humid day, clothes take longer to dry, and sweat from our bodies do not evaporate easily, right? So, when the water vapor rises, it starts cooling, right? So, before that, what is humidity, children? The actual amount of water vapor present in the air is called humidity or absolute humidity. Okay? Yeah. So, condensation. So, children, as I was telling you, when the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses, causing formation of droplets of water. That is, when the moist air rises upward, it becomes cool and the water vapor changes into small drops of water. This process is called condensation. Okay. Now, what are clouds? Clouds are the masses of these heavy droplets. So, when these droplets of water become too heavy to float in the air, they come down in the form of precipitation, right? Now, precipitation that comes down in the form of water on the earth and which is in liquid form, we call it as rain. Most of the groundwater comes from the rainwater. Plants help preserve water. When trees on hillsides are cut, rainwater flows down the bare mountains and can cause flooding of low-lying areas. So, children, on the basis of these mechanisms, children, we can say that there are three types of rainfall: orographic or relief rainfall, convectional rainfall, and frontal or cyclonic rainfall. So, children, now let us understand this cyclone, which is also called the nature's fury. Odisha, located on the eastern sea coast of India, is prone to cyclones that originate in Bay of Bengal. So, on 17th and 18th of October in 1999, the cyclone hit 5 districts of the state. Another super cyclone occurred on 29th of October 1999. Now, this cyclone devastated large portions of the state. The damages caused by the cyclone were mainly due to three factors: wind velocity, rain, and tidal surge. The winds of up to 260 km per hour lasted for over 36 hours. These high velocity winds uprooted trees and damaged the kacha houses, rooftops of several industrial sheds and other houses were also blown away. Power supply and telecom lines snapped completely, and there was a heavy rain which occurred due to the influence of under the influence of the cyclone for 3 days. These rains led to flooding in the major rivers of Odisha. The cyclonic winds caused tidal waves that swept 30 kilometers inland and brought massive destructions to the coastal areas. It led to a massive damage of the standing paddy crops too. The cyclone originated as a depression in the Gulf of Thailand near the east of Port Blair on 25th of October 1999, and it gradually moved in the northwestward direction. It intensified into supercyclone and hit the area in Odisha on 29th of October at 10:30 am. So you can understand the kind of damage or the intensity of the cyclone. The supercyclone swept the entire coast of Odisha, including the cities of Bhubaneswar and Cuttack and 28 coastal towns. There was a heavy and massive damage of crops like paddy, vegetables and fruits. The agricultural land turned infertile. Large tracts of sal, teak and bamboo plantations disappeared. The mangrove forest between Paradip and Konark vanished. So this was the intensity of the supercyclone, and this was the kind of damage that it caused. Children, with this I end the revision of this chapter, that is chapter number 4, the air. See you in the revision session, the next video. Till then, goodbye and keep learning.